for joining. Got it. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and thank you for guest speakers, Felicia and Rebecca, for joining us. We have a few board members on here. We have Rachel Barrios. You want to say hey, Rachel?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, nice
Hey.
to see everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. And then we have Holly Thorpe as well.
Everybody, I'm in the
Holly.
car, so.
Realtor Live.
Yeah.
And then we had Ro Rashid jump on and join us late too. So thank you for coming on. All right. And then we'll do, I didn't have my notes on here I was gonna read out the introduction for you, Felicia. Unprepared. Okay, so we have Felicia here from Bridge MLS. She's a Realtor, 2019 National Association of Realtors magazine, been 30 Bay Area real estate is Instagram influencer, and I can go on and on, but we only have an hour, so.
Hi, everybody.
She's all things awesome is summed up.
Thanks, Donatelli.
And then Rebecca Donatelli is out of Cleveland, president of her association. What association is it?
Lake and Geauga Area Association of Realtors.
That's right. See, I was gonna mess that up anyway.
That's okay.
She was also 30. She was also 30 and the 30, and of course she's here because she's killing it on Instagram. So we'll go ahead and just start off with, how did you guys get started and where you at now? Who wants to start off?
Sure. So my first post on Instagram was when I was in college. And it was just like me at school on campus. Like I didn't really know what it was for, what the purpose was. That was kind of when like Instagram was just like really getting its traction. Since then I have came through on the other side of an Instagram addiction. I don't like spend too much time on it now, like scrolling. I try to limit the amount of time that I spend on there. But I do feel like I've built some pretty strong bonds since then. As soon as I started getting my license in real estate, I started posting about it and saying like, this is what I'm working on. And in my bio, it said something like before I got into real estate, I was a nanny. And I did that professionally for many years. And so I put in my bio, like current nanny, future realtor. And that's what all of my content was about. It was either about nannying or about being a realtor. And then I slowly just made the transition into posting mostly only about real estate. And since then I've been able to connect with other realtors, clients, and just a bunch of people on there. So I love it.
Very cool.
I didn't know that, Phelps. I didn't know.
You learned something new.
So I've been in the business, it'll be 7 years actually in June. And I got first on Instagram just at the end of my first year in the business. I realized fairly quickly that I was a young realtor in a world, especially in a community of agents that have been around for a long time, that had a lot of experience and knew a lot of folks. So I kind of realized pretty early on that I needed to kind of figure out another way to stand out and get to know clients and folks in the community. So I got on Instagram as just a hobby. I love photography and love real estate. So I was like, well, this sounds like a good place to share the love for both of those things. And kind of just started sharing my world. It was mostly at first a lot of houses and kitchens and inspections and things like that. And then over time, as my platform grew, I started sharing more of my personal world. And now I actually prefer to share less of the sales that we have on the team and more about me and who I am and kind of getting to know me. So it's so interesting how things change and shift. And to Fel's point, I also used to spend, especially when I first got started on the account, like massive amounts of time on Instagram, getting to know people. And I now genuinely don't have that time. And I think there's a way to figure out how to be great on Instagram or any social media for that matter without having to spend a crazy amount of time on there, because let's face it, there's only 24 hours in the day. And when you're out selling houses and going home to your family, or, you know, doing all the things, especially if you're volunteering, YPN or things like that, you don't have all the time in the world to be on social. So I'm kind of with Fel on that, you know, you find that good balance of keeping it alive, but not spending forever on the platform.
Perfect. Okay. And when it comes to posting on there, especially with the time limited, do you guys have like a posting schedule, or how do you guys go about doing that?
I think we might be similar on this. I don't know if you have a schedule, but I definitely do not. And you're probably, like a lot of the people on this call, are probably relieved to hear that, because they're like, it sounds very daunting to have like a schedule. At least that's how my brain works. I'm very like fly by the seat of my pants. Like I like last minute stuff. I like to like every day is a new adventure type of thing. So I don't have a direct schedule. I used to plan out my feed before I would post something, and I would use a separate app for that, just so that I could see that all the photos were kind of matching up well, the colors were all going together. But since I've just kind of gotten away from all of that, and now I'm just like, hey, whatever I can post is good enough for me. Like I'm just going to put it out there in the world. At least I'm posting something. So now I try to post on my feed at least once a week. I try to post on Reels at least once or twice a week. And in stories, I try to post a few times a day. So, and that's just, stories is just super easy because it's like on the go. Whenever you're doing something, just take a photo or a video and post it, and it'll be gone in 24 hours. So you don't need to make it pretty or perfect or anything. So that's how I do it. Donatella, do you have a schedule?
No, we are very similar in that way. And this is not to deter anyone on here who might find that a schedule is more beneficial for you. You know, there's some great scheduling programs that are available if that is, you know, more effective. But no, I'm the same way as Felicia. I post as I go. If there's content that I think belongs on my feed, you know, whether I was planning something or not, which I really try not to plan anything because I kind of like to share my world as it's happening, then I'll post it. I am not as good with Reels by any means as Fel is, and I'm learning from her all the time because she's got some really, really gold ones. But I'm trying to be a little bit better with that, especially with Instagram's algorithm. They are pushing the Reels and things like that, which is going to get you more views. And then I'm always on my story. I actually get the most activity on my story, which is why I'm more active there than on my feed. And it's great because you can see who's looking, who's tracking. It's a great place to share, you know, things that are going on. And to Felicia's point, it's just a click of a button and then it disappears. So you don't have to spend all the time, you know, editing a photo or things like that if you don't want to. And I also thought it was interesting that Felicia, you said that you used to want to make it look a certain way and kind of like have like a cohesive feed, and have gotten away from that. And I feel like I'm the exact same way. I was used to be so focused on kind of making everything look in the same color scheme and, you know, the way it is. And now, I'll be honest, I have a very, very busy schedule. And so I care more now about the content and what's happening rather than making it more cohesive. If it looks, you know, the way it looks, then that's it, you know, as long as it fits there and it's something that's genuine to me, that's what I care most about. And I think followers would probably agree. So
yeah. What is most of the content that you like to post? What do you kind of focus on, or kind of tell us a little bit on that?
So when I started, I was mostly straight up houses because that's what I thought people wanted to see being a realtor. And as I was growing the profile, I decided to play around a little bit with what the content looked like. So I started sharing more photos of myself, photos of things in my world. And I noticed pretty quickly that the activity on the photos that were less real estate related and more Rebecca related were getting more, there was more engagement with those. And so I started getting away from more sales and started focusing more on who I am. The thing is, if you're a successful realtor, of course, you're going to want to share your sales and listings and things like that. But people really, when I go to a listing appointment or buyer consult, I'm not going to sit there and say, I sold 100 houses. They want to get to know me and who I am. And I believe that somebody who's a complete stranger who's getting to know me through their phone screen wants to know who I am and if we're going to be a great fit. So my content now is I travel a lot for speaking, and did a lot of YPN traveling last year, and a lot of RPAC stuff. I'm a huge coffee drinker, so there's coffee in probably like 99% of my posts.
I was going to ask about that, but you can continue.
Yes, I drink a lot of coffee. Massive amounts of it. But sharing that kind of content, I'll give you a great example of the impact that you can have by sharing the things that you love. So I love coffee. I share a lot of it. A local coffee shop owner in downtown Cleveland got to know me on Instagram. We connected, got to know him, spent a lot of time at the coffee shop. And long story short, I designed my own coffee drink and they named it after me on their menu. Just from originally kind of getting to know each other on Instagram and things like that. So there's a lot of power in kind of sharing who you are and the things that you like. But, while still including that real estate aspect, of course.
Perfect. I think you mentioned something that I think is really important, and that's that you were paying attention to what was tracking well, right? With the people that you're connecting with, what is getting the most attention, the most likes, the most comments, the most interactions, the most DMs, all those things, they matter. And it definitely does show you what content you should be posting. And so paying attention to that will help you adjust what you've been focusing on. And I think that this is true for every single person, not for just somebody who's as stunning as Rebecca Donatelli, but for any person, your audience will feel more connected to you if you are showing your face. Like the people who have their cameras on right now, I feel more connected to them than like the people that don't have their cameras on.
That are hiding.
That's natural, that's natural, like human connection. And we want that even through a screen and even through on Instagram. That's kind of the point. And if you're not building that natural connection, that human connection, then people just won't remember you or feel that connected to you on Instagram. So I feel like it is really important to show your face, and you will see the results from that. And it encourages you to post more of that content because you're like, oh, this is like working. I need to do more of this. And with Donatelli talking about coffee, it's so funny because like whenever we travel together, we'll get coffee in the morning. And then by the afternoon, she's like, where do you want to go get some fries? Because I love fries. So, and that's like something that I post a lot about. And I haven't gotten like any French fry deals from it or anything like that. Like
I see them coming, Phil.
I haven't like built my own fry seasoning or something like Donatelli has with her jam.
McDonald's hasn't called you yet.
But one benefit to everybody knowing that I love fries is that, for example, I was just in New York on vacation and I had people DMing me fry places, and they're like, I don't even have to do my own research now. Like anywhere I go, people just DM me like, oh, I looked on Yelp and I found this place for you. Like that is so nice.
Cool.
Like, dang, I need to do that for people, because that is just like so thoughtful. Like, I'm going somewhere and you want to find a cool place for me to go and have fries. That is so cool. I don't have to do my own research, which I hate doing. So that's another benefit, is just having people remember you for the things that you love and the things that you represent and the things that you're passionate about. And then when they see those things, they think of you and they like send you a photo, or they send you a recommendation. And I think that's really sweet.
That makes me think of, and actually it's funny that this is today, because it was today 3 years ago that we got 30 under 30. And so I remember when the article came out, we didn't know each other. This is a complete sidebar. But they like highlight certain people if there's like a funky, like, so I used to be a competitive fencer. So they put like, we have a competitive fencer in here. And then one of them was, and we have like a professional fry eater or like something. And I was like, who's the fry girl? Like,
yeah, they called me a French fry connoisseur. I was like, never have I ever been an expert at anything.
But it was like spot on, because she is like, fry queen.
Yeah, that was so funny. But yeah, happy anniversary. Happy 30 and a 30 anniversary.
Sorry, off
3
topic.
years already. Wow. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, no, that's good. Does anybody have questions?
Yeah, and other people can hop in too if anybody wants to
Yeah.
add to the
We have a
conversation.
smaller group, so
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you guys use the professional business aspect
good.
of your Instagram, or do you have it set up as your personal?
That's a great question. I have kind of a funny story relating to why I switched to professional, but I am on the professional one. And they recently added a, oh, what's the new, it's not an influencer, it's a
Creator.
yes.
Creator.
There's like a creator platform on there. But my funny story, which is the whole reason that I changed over from like having, it was a personal account that I used for real estate. But long story short, I was notified one day that another Rebecca Donatelli got her real estate license up the street from me. So,
wow.
and by this time, I had built my presence on Instagram. It was kind of my thing here, and I wanted to protect the brand that I had built, to be honest, because she was starting to receive emails of mine. She got a pre-approval that was supposed to go to me. So when you change to a professional profile, your contact information is right on the profile. So if you click call on Instagram, you can call Felicia right from her Instagram profile. You can email her and it goes to the right Felicia on there. So, but no, jokes aside, there's a lot of really cool things you can do on there. I mean, you can see the demographics of who's looking at your profile, if that's of importance to you, like times a day. There's so many things that you can do. And you can also collaborate with, if you do any collaborations with companies or things like that, those are other opportunities on the professional profile. Fel, do you know anything else that's on there that?
I use a creator account, and the reason why is because they were not letting me. Instagram's weird with like who they let do certain things. And so I did not have the option to add music to my stories or my reels.
That was annoying.
Yeah, it was very annoying. And I was like, I don't care what account I have to get. I am getting music in my Instagram stories. So that's why I figured I like Googled it, YouTubed it, and found out that I have to switch over to a creator account. So that's what I ended up doing. Ben, did you have a question?
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's on a call.
Real quick, sorry. What do you guys recommend to find out trending reels or videos? Because I'm on TikTok a lot too, and I repurpose my TikTok videos into Instagram, and that tend to help engagements. But I want to be at the forefront of those trending videos or whatever sounds that are, getting a lot of content creators to jump on board. Do you guys have any advice on that?
Yeah. I mean, when I'm about to create a reel, I try to get inspiration from other people. And so I'll go to the section where you watch reels, and I'll just swipe until I find like a good idea or like a good song or whatever. But in the bottom left corner where the music is, if there's an arrow pointing up, that means it's a trending song. So if there's an arrow where the music is playing, a lot of the songs won't have it at all, and it'll just have a little like music note or something. But if there's an arrow pointing up, it means that the song is trending, and it's a good time to use that sound in one of your reels. Or another option, because some people complain that they don't see an arrow. Another option is just to watch for a while, and once you find a sound that you've heard like 2 or 3 times, that's going to be trending soon. So it might not have started trending, and that's why they haven't put the arrow on it. But if multiple accounts are using it, then it is going to eventually start trending. And so that's kind of a good time to use that sound. I hope that helps. TikTok is a little bit better at like making the trending sounds noticeable. So it's a little bit more. And when you're reposting on TikTok, it's helpful too if you just like it's a pain in the butt, but if you like recreate the video, it might do a little bit better on Instagram because they like want people to stay on their platform longer. But I feel like it's fine just to repost it. It's just not worth doing all the work to like redo the whole video just for Instagram.
That's what I say. At least
and
it's there.
Don, Kelly, did you have anything to add to that?
No, I am learning all the real estate because, but they're really cool. And I will say to Felicia's point earlier about having music on your story, which for some reason my account also first wouldn't let me do that. I love going through the reels, which I feel like my reels are mostly coffee, houses, and like some random things. But there's some really fun things you can save those audios that you might not come across. And I think adding music to your stories, like I get a lot of people that will respond with something about the song, even if it has nothing to do with what the story is. Like the other day, I posted a story where I was just walking with my coffee, and from a reel that I saw, there was a coffee song. So naturally I saved it. And it's like coffee. And like, the number of people that responded to me, but like the point of this in all seriousness is these are the funny types of things that will start new conversations with people that you wouldn't even expect.
Exactly.
I can't tell you how many new conversations that coffee song started, which these are like new relationships that I'm forming with my followers that I can then build into either referral partners or potential business contacts if they're people in the Cleveland area. So, and that's why it's so great sharing that stuff, whether it's real estate related or not, because it's fun conversations that you can have with people, you know, on the things that you would a lot of times never even expect. So
Yeah, that's a really good point. And it's like, you don't need to always be discussing real estate, right? Like it's just about building connections and relationships. And what you can do too, if you're looking for a sound to use and you've put your like, say you're, I don't know, on vacation or something, and you want to post like something about Spain or something, you could literally type Spain in the music search bar, and then there'll be a song that's like, Spain is awesome or something. Like it'll like, there's like random songs on there about literally anything, or you could type in like dog, and then it'll be a song all about a dog. So like you can make the music match whatever you're playing if that's like what you're trying to do. So that's what I would have done if I did the coffee video, just search coffee. And then I do want to get to Holly's question in the chat. Do you use a separate app to make videos post? I do sometimes if I am wanting to cut clips and add them and shorten them. And, you know, oftentimes with my reels, it's a one take. And so I don't need to do a lot of editing. It's just like all the way through. But if I am doing editing, either adding clips together or slowing things down or speeding them up, a lot of times I'll like put things in hyper like speed so that people can watch the video faster, because you really don't want a video to like drag out forever. You want it to be very fast, and people are just searching for that like instant gratification and they want to move on. So I use an app called Video Shop. It's very easy and intuitive. You can like select the clip, which part of it you want it to speed up or slow down. It's just really easy to use it. So Video Shop is one that I recommend, but there are so many, like you can even just do it directly on your iPhone. Like the stuff that's in your phone works fine as well. Don, Telly, do you have anything you wanted to add to that? Or other apps? Like, do you use other, I mean, I guess I use Lightroom for editing photos. Do you use that as well?
yeah, I love Lightroom. It's super easy to use, whether you save like a preset on there, or sometimes I've created my own, depending on what I'm posting. But I used to spend a lot of time editing, and to be honest, I don't have the time. So I like just a quick little easy thing. And yeah, it does. And you can easily get carried away with some of that. Yeah. So the great thing with, there's so many apps for there's apps that you could do. I don't know any, cause I don't use them, but if you wanted to create like fun frames for your Instagram stories, you can, there's apps that have, like templates or things like that you can download. There's a million photo editing apps. I would say probably Lightroom's the most popular, but Snapseed's another one that I've used. Color Story. That's a great app if you want like more of a cohesive feed. You kind of want your posts to look, similar. You can upload your Instagram essentially, and you can put a photo in there before you actually post it to see what it looks like on your feed. If that's something that's important to you. But yeah, there's a million apps. I mean, I've never paid for any app for Instagram. I don't think that you need to.
Ben mentioned InShot. I've heard of that one too.
Yeah, I've heard of
That
that
was good.
one. Yeah, there's another one called Touch Retouch, and that one will let you like take things out of your background and stuff. So if you wanted to if there's like a person behind you or something, you wanted to take them out, there's apps for that too. And then like some people edit in Canva as well. I mean, I know that's good for other types of marketing, but some people do their like photos with like words on it or whatever in Canva.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Ben's friend. Just out of the car with Ben is on the move.
Hey.
Yeah, you guys are we're grabbing lunch. Right, so
Awesome.
hey,
Sounds
gotta do
fantastic.
what we gotta do.
Ben had a question.
Huh?
What are some tips on converting your social media engagement to clients?
Tips on what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the second part of it.
What are some tips on converting your social media engagement to clients? I guess to getting more clients on Instagram.
I mean, I would say honestly, just I mean, for me, it's been talking to people authentically, just having, I try to respond to every comment. I get mostly private like DMs on my stories, which is where most of those conversations come from. And I kind of say, like, when you're thinking about using your social media platform to turn into business leads and things like that, it's like going into a department store, when you might just be browsing and window shopping. And then how annoying is it when the salesperson runs over to you with like 4 pairs of pants, 2 shirts, and a fitting room, and you were just looking, and it's like more of a turnoff than anything. So I kind of say the same thing when it comes to, talking to folks on Instagram, is that if somebody responds to an Instagram story and just says, "Oh, I really like that kitchen," and you're like, "Oh, are you ready to buy or sell? Let me come out." You wanted to keep the conversation.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. And I feel like that's where a lot of folks drop the ball, because as soon as somebody is messaging them or talking to them, they think that they have to work to convert them immediately into a potential sale. And you have to just build a genuine relationship with them. And then you never know, when you show someone that you're there authentically, like their posts as well, congratulate them on things that they're doing. Anytime there's another agent that I follow, they post a new listing, I tell them how great the listing is, even if I don't know anything about their market, just to kind of give them a little plug there. I think it's really about that authenticity and like being genuine about building relationships. As someone who majority of my business is either referral or social media, that's genuinely what that's really about. And also being, regular with it. Don't wait a week to respond to someone if you can help it. They've moved on by that time. So
yeah, I love that. It's really just about like reminding them every once in a while what you do, and they'll remember you when they're ready to make that move and move forward. And hopefully they will feel comfortable enough, because you've had enough conversations through DMs or comments or whatever, that they will reach out to you when they're ready. But it could also be helpful to remind them every once in a while, like, the first step is this. Like, if you're, just not every day, not every week, not even every month, but every once in a while, because you will have people, like, I have noticed that there will be people like watching my stuff for like a year and they never say anything. They never, like, I like sometimes won't even interact with them. I don't even know they're there, like I'm not even paying attention. I don't even know they're in the background watching all my stuff. And then one day they'll reach out and say, "I've been watching your videos for a year. And I remember that one time, like 6 months ago, where you said the first step is getting pre-approved. Who should I reach out to?" Right. Because there are people who are just kind of like sleuthing around without having the energy or courage to like say something that they're like, they want to start the process. But hopefully you've like done a good enough job educating them that they'll know to reach out to you. Or you've just done a good enough job seeming trustworthy online. And so they're going to reach out to you and take your advice.
Yeah, what I do sometimes is when I do those tip videos, things like that, I do them like every 6 months, something like that, because you just never know when someone starts watching your stuff. So they can be, 7 months in, they already have missed everything. So here you go, and then yeah, I've had that too. Someone reached out on Facebook after 2 years. I was like, I didn't even know who they were. So yeah, it
Yeah,
happened.
that's a good point too, because it is like it's a long game, like so many people think like, oh, if I make a post, it's going to bring me a client, but it's really like in social media is just a long game of building relationships.
Yeah, and not everybody sees it. So yeah.
Oh
Very
yeah,
cool.
and to Sal's point too, like there are going to be a lot of people that are intimidated to reach out for whatever reason. They just, they don't know you or they see you out and about and they might think you're too busy. Like sometimes I'll get people that'll literally be like, hey, I want to buy a house. Can you help me? Are you too busy? Or like they might, if I just posted a sale for, 500,000 and they maybe have a different price point, they might be intimidated if I don't work that price point or something, which, they don't know. Of course, we work all price points, but they don't know what they don't know. And so you don't be afraid to reach out to people that, especially if you do look to see who's watching your stories, which I think there's a lot of power there and opportunity. And you see those regulars, like, honestly, I have a lot of people that watch my stories, but there's always the exact same people that are the first ones there all the time, so I know who the regular kind of folks are. So don't be afraid to reach out to them and just, say, thanks for following and let me know if you need anything, because sometimes there definitely, I've noticed, is a little intimidation with some people, especially as you're growing a platform, you've got things going on, you're busy. It can't hurt. So
That is so true. I've heard the same thing. Like, are you too busy? Or when a lot of people reach out, they'll say like, are you taking new clients? Like they're very like,
Yeah.
which I appreciate because I'm like, they're going to be respectful of my time. They're considerate of my time, but also we don't want to seem so busy that we don't have enough time to take on new clients. And so that's where that reminder of like, I work with everybody. Like if you create like an inclusive environment online, then they will feel included as one of your people and they won't be as intimidated. But there are those people in the background who are just like, oh, they're too busy for me because we're posting so much, right? So they think that we're too busy, but they don't understand that that's like a part of it, right? Like we're trying to get new clients, which is why we're doing all these things. So
right, that's the point. Yeah.
Same thing, like if you mainly work with buyers, kind of throw in, tips and things like that, that you work with sellers too, because a lot of times they don't know that you can do both. So I've been asked before, and I mean, I'm going on my 8th year, and like they know, and I get asked, do you do listings too? I'm like, yes, of course. Like, so yeah, just throwing all those things out there.
yeah, I think, yeah, it's safe to just assume nobody knows anything. Like they don't know what they don't know, right?
Correct.
So it's our job to make sure that we explain it to them in a way that doesn't make them feel silly for asking, but also that that we create that space for them to ask any question that they feel like asking and to educate them.
Yeah, I feel like too, a lot of times in the realtor world, like we live in this world where things are like kind of a no-brainer, if you will, to us, but to someone who's never bought a home before or sold their home before, there is a lot of things that we don't realize that they don't know. So don't be afraid to use, like Michelle's point, your social media platform as an education piece for your clients about things that you might think are, them, of course, because you're in the game, but a lot of other people don't. And I'm sure you guys have heard this from your clients, but you're like, I have a question, might be a stupid question, and they're kind of afraid to ask things. And you're like, of course, that's what we're here for. But you would be really surprised at the amount of, I think, feedback and new conversations you'll get just from even throwing out like a tip of the day or an educational piece or, something about your market or the interest rates or, anything, especially because I mean, let's face it, everybody is so fascinated by real estate, so anything you post is going to be some kind of conversation starter.
This is a great point. It reminds me that like when a client asks you something, that's a perfect opportunity to obviously educate them, but then on the side, create a template either in your email or your notes for how you're going to answer that question. And you might even answer the question and then be like, well, I could have said that a little bit differently, or I could have like explained it a little bit more clearly. So take the time out of your schedule after that meeting to write down the question, write down the answer, the appropriate response. And then now you never have to think about it again. And you can just copy and paste if they're texting, but you can also use that exact same template for creating content online, and usually in the form of a video, or if you just wanted to do like a picture with writing it in the description, the answer to that question, because if that one person is wondering it, there's probably a whole bunch of people on your social media also who don't have that information. So that's it. That's a perfect opportune moment to figure out what kind of content can I create around this question and around this topic.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
no,
used to
that's
find it
great. So,
hard
like,
to like figure out what to post. I used to be like, what do I post?
that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was like, there's just so much you can't post. You'll
Mhm.
never run out.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions?
Is everyone that's on here, are you guys already using social for your business, or is this new for anyone?
Does anybody want us to look at their page and give our feedback? We would be happy to literally pull up their Instagram
Mhm.
right now and tell you what is wrong with it. No. I
Since
promise.
we're friends, go for it. I love
We're-
feedback.
We're nice.
And then his is on. You'll find it on mine. But it's kind of cool. I was doing it a lot on my own at first, and then my wife is helping as a brand manager now, so she definitely helps out big time, if you guys know. And so, but I do daily content to give it to her. So
Is your what's your Instagram handle? Is it what's on your name on here?
yep,
Okay.
Ben your agent. Ben your agent.
So Ben, I love your bio. I think this is a great example of a bio because it's like fun. It shows what you do. It shows what you care about. It shows what you specialize in. And your emoji game is on point. With you saying want to know more with the arrows. I think that's really smart. Like, hey, click here that I want you to keep going. Like, don't stop here in the bio. Click here and do more things with me.
Yeah.
That's great.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you have a nice variety of, it looks like some graphics, some like stats and reels, and it looks like a little bit of personal stuff on here too.
Yeah.
I would definitely encourage you. I mean, if I had any feedback, I think this looks great. I might just encourage you, depending on your comfort, to maybe share a little bit more about you as well. Because you've got a lot of really great real estate content on here, but like maybe just so people can get to know a little bit about you personally as well.
Yeah, so that's I don't know if you guys recommend. It comes down to like having a personal IG and a business IG. What's your guys' take on that? Because I know everyone has a different opinion on it. Because I like to share some personal on my real estate IG, but I do have a personal IG as well. So what are your guys' thoughts on that?
I think we feel the same. I'm just going to speak for both of us real quick. We both use only one account for both our personal and our business because we feel, I'm just going to keep going and saying we feel that our business is personal, right? And we want everybody in our lives to see both sides of us because that's who we are as a person, right? We're one whole being and there's two sides of us, personal and business. And we want the personal people that we know to know that we're in business, and we want our business folks to know who we are as people. So I think combining them is the right strategy. However, the only like caveat to that is if you are a parent or if you have something like private in your life that you want to keep private to like family and friends only, totally understand having a separate account for that. Like if you don't want your, a bunch of strangers looking at your kids or something. So I appreciate when people have a separate account for that if they want to protect their child's privacy. But I would then recommend to, when you post things that are not super private to your personal, also post it to your business then. So that your business folks are still seeing your personal life, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I like if you go through my profile, lately what I've been doing is, which I find it really helpful, is as a cover photo, like the dog, for example, or a quote on some of them. My wife put a quote, they click it, but it goes to my TikTok video that I've done. I've been finding more engagement that way as well.
Yeah, it also just looks better on your feed, right?
Right.
Yeah, like when I do my reels, I'll usually like scroll when you're adding your cover photo, I'll usually like add it from the video, but I'll try to find myself doing like a funny face.
Yeah.
So that the cover
What I
photo
do
is
too.
me like talking all crazy. And then, because I feel like when people go to my feed, I want them to be like, what is this wacky girl doing? Like, what is going on here? And then they'll click on it to see
And
what
they're
I'm
gonna
doing.
want to
Really
play.
it turns into a video. But I think that for
point.
engagement, it makes sense to add a nice cover photo. That's probably the best route to go. I just don't want to like take the time out to like go and like edit a photo and post it. But I'm gonna start practicing doing that same strategy.
Good point. Good point. Yeah.
Very cool.
Anyone else?
Time and all the input you guys put helped us out today. Appreciate that.
Aw, thanks,
thank
man.
you for joining us from SoCal.
Yeah, I'm actually we're LA, so we're in the LA County area, so
Oh, cool.
let us know.
Any other questions you guys have?
Going once.
Hi, James. I don't know if you're active in the room, but good to see you.
He's hiding.
I'm driving right now. Otherwise, I would let you see the back and forth. But I'm driving on the Levy Road, which is back and forth, zooming round and round. I don't want to make you do that. So,
No worries.
but I've been listening. You guys had some great ideas, and I'm not very good at Instagram. I recently had someone I hired to handle all my social media, and he was great for a few months, and then, like most of them, he flaked out. So I'm back to doing it again. So these were great. I appreciate.
Awesome.
And James, you have such a big realtor network. Like, so many realtors and real estate professionals. Like, those are the perfect people. I find that like I'm getting the most business from social media from other realtors, from referrals. So those are the people when I see a realtor watching my stuff or commenting on my stuff, I'm like, hell yeah. Like that's exactly who I want to connect with, because they know so many people and they might have a referral in my area. So those are the perfect people. If you're not already friends, James, with all the people that you know through all of the great work that you've done with the association and everything, that is a great people to reach out to and to find on there.
Yeah, I love
Great
that.
idea. Thank you.
I would say another big misconception that I think a lot of people have is they think that if they get any business from Instagram, it's going to be folks that are local to them that just come across them, which is definitely going to happen. But I'm the same way as well. Most of the business I get from Instagram or social media are from other realtors that have referrals, and then they pass your name, along to the next person, where you're also building that referral network. And it's kind of a win-win, because not only is it new business and new folks in your world, but if they have any great ideas on social media, you can see what they're doing and see if you can implement any of those into your Instagram or social strategy. But yeah, I mean, one of the first things I did when I got on Instagram, I followed all the local businesses. But then I followed any realtor that I could possibly find on social, and fortunate enough, we've met a lot of them at NAR and things like that, which has been really great. But just meeting people, and when you least expect it, they will reach out to you. I got 7 referrals last week, and half of them were people I had never heard of, and they would text me And I'm like, oh my God, did I meet this person? I forgot. I can't remember. Like, right. So, but I always ask, like, how did you get my name? Because you always want to know where your business is coming from. And you would be surprised that they're like, we connected on Instagram 3 years ago. I've been following you. And I now have somebody in the Cleveland market that's looking to buy or whatever. So don't discount those people. Those are going to be your, as long as you're supporting them and getting to know them too. And you know, those are going to be supporters. And if you have anyone in their market and vice versa, it's a huge, huge business opportunity.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier, we're like commenting on other realtor stuff, supporting their photos and videos, liking their stuff, sharing it if it's funny, like, or if it's interesting. I think that's really important too, just to build that deeper connection and let them know, like, I got your back. I like your stuff. Like, I'm trying to help you out.
Oh yeah. And you build friendships. Like we had connected first before we ever met on social. And same with Michelle, our other friend, who was in our 30 under 30 class. And now we're great friends and we've, you know, connected a lot of the same people. We exchange referrals and ideas and things all the time. So yeah, definitely, you know, cheerlead for other people as you expect them to cheerlead for you too.
Perfect. Well said. All right, was that all? Anybody else? Take that as a no. Well, thank you guys. That was awesome. Rebecca, Felicia, I know you guys are really busy, so appreciate it. And thank you everyone else for joining.
Yeah, thanks for having us. This
Yeah,
was
of
fun.
course. All right. I'll talk to you guys all later. You guys have a great day and weekend.
All right. Bye guys. Have a great
Thank you,
weekend.
everybody. Have a good
Bye.
weekend.